Hey, 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 Facebook. Good morning to you and everyone around the world. My name is Denise O'Berry, and I am so thrilled to be with you today. I'm using some new technology, so let's hope that everything works out fine. All right, so it looks like my head is being cut off here, so I'm going to move my camera a little bit. There we go. That should help some. Anyway, I'm so glad you're here, and if you're joining me live, please make a comment below and let me know where you're from. I'd love to know where people are joining from. And if you're joining on the replay, that's okay. Make a comment on that too. I always love my replay viewers, and I know that you can't always take time out of your day in order to join live. So today we've got an interesting topic. I have been seeing all sorts of conversations in Facebook groups that I participate in about how to hire the right accountant. And I know that's not a real sexy topic like marketing or social media or emails or anything like that, but it's vital to your business. And I'm not saying that because I have any ulterior motive other than having an accountant is so important to your business. And having the right accountant is even more important. So that's what I want to talk about today. Now, sadly, I have a kind of an uncomfortable history with hiring accountants. When I first started my business several years ago, I had really a bad time with accountants. I hired one based on a recommendation from a friend, and I found out real quickly, say within about 3 months, that that accountant was not the right fit for me. So I did a little bit of searching around and found another accountant, and I was really happy with her. It was a good fit. Things were going right along. And then after about a year, she decided to sell her business, and she didn't tell any of her clients. I was just shocked at that because we had such a good relationship. But anyway, the gentleman that she sold her practice to was not a good fit for me at all. So I was on the search again. And so I guess, the fourth time is the charm? Anyway, the accountant that I hired then is the same accountant that I have today. I've been with her for about 10 years or so now, and I'm just totally thrilled with her. She's been just a real asset to my business. And that's really, really important because you know what? Your business can't survive without cash flow. And if your accounting is a mess, your business is a mess. So today, I want to talk to you about a process you can use to hire the right accountant in your business. So you don't go through all the things that I went through in finding your accountant. Now, the thing that's interesting about this is when I was talking to different accounting folks that I know, they said that typically when someone hires them, the only question that they ask is, when do you start? And that's an okay question to ask, but there's a whole lot of questions that should precede that. So I'm going to talk about those questions today to make sure that you get the right fit for your company. Now I'm going to be sharing my screen, so give me just a second here and let's get that done. Okay, and here we are. So the three-step process that I want you to go through when you're hiring an accountant has three very, very important components. The first one is to interview yourself. Now that might sound kind of funny, but it's really very important, and that's a key factor in finding the right fit for you and for your company. You're also going to ask friends and family, and most of us do that anyways. We go to the people that we know, like, and trust, and we ask them, who do you use in your business? Now, just because they use somebody doesn't mean that it's the right fit for us. So there's some additional things that you're going to ask them. And then lastly, you're going to interview accountants. Yes, you're going to actually interview them for the job. So we'll go through this 3-step process today during this discussion and come out on the other side with a great way for you to select your next accountant. So let's go to the interview yourself step. And there's 5 key things that you need to decide on before you can actually decide on an accountant. The first one is location. You know, in today's virtual world, we can have an accountant anywhere. And as a matter of fact, I'm in Florida and my accountant is in Montana. And the interesting thing about it is I never even really met her face to face until, I don't know, now 3-4 years ago. We had done all of our communication virtually, but I met her face to face via video. I've never really met her live. So there's lots of opportunities for you, which is a really good thing, but it can cause a lot of confusion too. And you need to decide what you're comfortable with from a location perspective. So a couple of different ideas that you need to consider. Number one, are you going to be okay with email discussions? Email is just a really key component when you have a virtual accountant for your business. So you need to decide and make sure that you're going to be okay with that. Then you also need to decide, are you going to be okay with just phone discussions? Are you going to be okay with video discussions? Or do you really, really need somebody that you're going to meet face to face? One of my accountants, well, actually 3 of my accountants were face-to-face people right here in my location in Tampa Bay. And, you know, I get more value from the virtual arrangement that I have with my current accountant than I did with those folks. But you might be totally different. So you need to decide if that's what you need to do. Now, the next thing is service level. And so what do I mean by that? By service level, I mean, what level are you comfortable with as far as your obligations when it comes to tax laws, reporting, those types of things? If you're comfortable with doing that yourself, it's going to make a difference. You know, your accountant can certainly do it for you, but if you feel comfortable doing it, then you can take that on yourself. So you need to know that up front before you move forward with selecting your accountant. And then the third thing you need to ask yourself is, how comfortable are you with paper? You know, some people are just like, oh, paperwork, I don't want to do that stuff. You know, don't make me do paperwork. And I understand that completely. Well, and by paperwork, you know, we don't necessarily mean paperwork these days. It might be digital paperwork, but are you comfortable with it or not? And if not, do you want somebody that will do it for you? Very, very important. And then the fourth item is business size. There's lots of different accounting firms. I mean, tons across the United States and around the world. And you need to decide, is it important to you to work with a small firm or a large firm? And remember that your personal relationship with your accountant is the key issue. This is a person that's going to be talking to you about very intimate issues in your business. So you need to have a good working relationship with that person. If you think you're going to get that from a small firm as opposed to a large firm, then that's the direction you should go. But if you want to go with a large firm that has a variety of people with a variety of experience, that's okay too. It all depends on what you're looking for. And then lastly, let's talk about service fees. Service fees can range wildly from the lower end of the spectrum to the higher end of the spectrum. Typically, your smaller firms are less expensive than a large firm. But if you need a specialized accountant, then that could also incur additional expense. So keep in mind that there's going to be a broad range in fees, and you need to decide what your budget tolerance is. So this concludes the portion where you're interviewing yourself. So Make sure that you know all of these different things and that you're comfortable moving forward. So the next step is to ask friends and family for recommendations. And you don't want to just ask for a name. That doesn't do you any good. What you want to do is you want to ask them specific questions. Number one, why, or that should actually say what? What do you like about using them? You need to get down into specifics here. What is it? What is it that you like about it? And then number two, what kind of business and tax advice do they offer? Everybody's going to require a little bit different something in their business. And so you need to find out and dig a little bit deeper about how they've helped someone that you're dealing with and what kinds of advice they've given them. And then thirdly, was their advice helpful in saving them money? You know, it's all about the money in your business. So you need to make sure that it covers the things that you want to cover. So that is the three things that you need to ask for friends and family recommendations. And lastly, and this is a really, really important component. You know, you've identified what your needs are. You've found out maybe some target recommendations from people that know accountants that they suggest to you. And now you need to prepare for your interview with the accountant. And there's 8 key questions that I recommend that you ask them. Number one being, do you specialize in businesses like mine? Now, if you are a brick and mortar business, or if you're an online e-commerce business, if you're a service provider, you could have different requirements than other businesses. So you want to make sure that that particular person has some experience in working with businesses like yours. Otherwise, it's just going to be a mess. You know, you don't want somebody learning on your dime is really the key here. Excuse me. And then you want to ask them, what have they done for others? And you want to dig deep here and find out what are the things that they do, and keeping in mind what your requirements are that you want them to do for you. So that will be a key issue. Never lose sight of what you've decided your requirements are so that you make sure and get a good match. Thirdly, how will I be charged? You could be charged hourly. You could be charged on a retainer. You could be charged on an annual fee. I've had accountants that have done all 3 of those ways. And so you just have to decide what's going to be a good fit for you and what your budget will tolerate. What is your education and experience is the next question you want to ask. You know, there's a couple of different kinds of accountants. There's a regular accountant, and there are CPAs, certified public accountants. Most small businesses don't need a CPA. CPAs have a higher level of education and some certifications in specialty areas, but you need to decide, do you need a regular accountant or a CPA? Excuse me, having a few throat issues today. So nail that down, decide whether you need whatever it is they offer from an education perspective. And then the next question, what kind of creative advice will you offer? You need to dig deep into how they're going to help you from an accounting perspective, and also look a little bit bigger. This person can be your business consultant. They have tons and tons of experience in the business arena, and so they can be the business consultant that you need. They can do strategic planning with you. How far do you want them to go? So you want to dig deep into that topic. And then next, is your business tech savvy? Well, you know, let's hope so in this day and age. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I know, though, that there are still some accountants that just do paper. So you probably don't want someone like that. Everybody should be up to speed on business tech these days and the tech tools that are available. And then also ask a little bit further, who are their other clients? Are there other clients, businesses like yours? This kind of goes back to their specialty. Do they have people that they deal with that have the same kind of issues that you do? And then lastly, ask them if they're active in their local business community. Now, this is going to apply whether they are going to be face-to-face to you or a virtual resource. Because if they're tapped into their local business community, that means they're in tune with the different things that are going on. And it's a really important issue for you to know. It not only helps you know that they've got good experience in the accounting field, but it also helps you know that they stay current with other businesses and the topics that are happening for small businesses. Things move so fast these days that you have got to be on top of that, and so does your accountant. So those are the three things that I wanted to talk to you today about what you need to go through in picking an accountant. Now, what you can do is you can, let me go back to the very first slide here. So those are the three things: interview yourself, ask friends and family, and interview accountants. Now, the detail around the different questions that I had you ask, each one of those areas are also included in a blog post on my website. I'll give you the URL here in a minute so you can go over there and find it. It's deniseoberry.com/interview, and I'll make sure and put it in the comments so that you have it. Now, I also want to let you know that this same information and much, much more is included in my book, Small Business Cash Flow. This is an excerpt from that, and it's been instrumental to thousands of people who have purchased my book. And you can find out more about the book at smallbusinesscashflowbook.com. So let's take a look right now and see if we have any questions. And let me quit sharing my screen here, so I can come back to you live. There we go. Still figuring out this new technology. I'm using Zoom now so that I can share screens with you, and so not quite totally tech savvy yet. So looking at the post on Facebook, I'm not seeing any questions. And looking at the Zoom link, I'm not seeing any questions either. So go ahead, if you have some questions about how you're going to hire an accountant, go ahead and place your comments in the area below, and I will circle back and help you out. And I would love for you to join me on future lives. I'm going to be going live every Monday at 11 a.m. And I look forward to seeing you next week. I hope this information has helped you, and I hope if you're picking a new accountant that you use these guidelines to help you do it the right way. Have a great day now. Take care.